Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? Let's just jump straight into the game. Why not? Don't particularly mind if there's like no viewers. Want to have a bit of a chill day. So this is a very laggy all of a sudden Kerbal Space Program. And what I'm planning to do here is a bit silly. Well, I'll say that. It should work. This rocket has, I think, enough power to get up into orbit and to do polar orbit, because I want to complete a... Did I fail the mission by any chance? The contract? No, I failed the 2 sounding rocket contracts though, so I'm just gonna back out to the Space Center real quick. Hello, Spencer. Also, some bits of the UI are covered by my overlay, so if you see me just suddenly going up into the overlay, that's me doing something with the UI. Because if I get sounding rocket high, requires 4.4 million, yeah, 4.4 thousand kilometers, 460 kilometers. It'll be done kind of as a thing of that. That'll do for missions. So the contract that I'm trying to do today is, or at least the first one. I do have 2 plans. Communications test satellite, which means I gotta launch a vehicle that's uncrewed and can generate solar power. That thing can generate a butt ton. And achieve Earth orbit with an apoapsis between 4,000 kilometers ish and 8.4 thousand, or 8.7 thousand kilometers, with a periapsis or lowest point above Earth at 832.2 kilometers and an inclination above 33 degrees. Which the plan is. No music, it's quiet. There should be music. Unless this has decided to go weird again. And it seemingly has. I'm just going to take my headphones off real quick and blast music so that I can see the actual trace. Okay, the music is there, it's just quiet. I think I'll leave it at 13%, which is going to be quite loud in my ears, but should be okay. Alright, without further ado, I should explain this rocket and how it works. So, very first thing that's going to happen is the 5 first stage engines, which is actually 10 engines, are going to fire. And I'm going to leave them stabilized before releasing the 5 launch clamps, which are feeding fuel into the machine. After about 2 minutes of flight, these initial 5, or the 4 boosters strapped on the side, will be dropped, leaving just the central core, which won't have a thrust to weight ratio of over 1, but it'll be fine. Once that's burnt out, we'll be going on to the secondary stage. Once that's burnt out, there's actually another stage inside the fairing here, and fairing sep is when? When is fairing sep? As we're dropping those boosters, that I don't like. We're gonna have fairing sep after booster drop. My audio keeps cutting out. Odd. Sorry, I had to send Sim a message. So, let's get throttle peg to full. This is going to be fun because it is quite laggy today for some reason. And without further ado, 3, 2, 1, make engines go now. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines are stable, reducing thrust. Release launch clamps. And we are on the move. The tower is clear. How much delta V does this thing even have? 12 kilometers a second. Okay, it should be good. That's more than enough for a polar orbit. Time to apoapsis is increasing. That is good. We're going to start our gravity turn. Oh, I forgot to turn on SAS. Slow. So we're going to start our gravity turn. We are now turning to the north from... I should really have launched this from Vandenberg. We are launching from... Oh, this happens sometimes when I'm still in the atmosphere. We're launching from Kennedy Space Center, which is in Florida. So there we are. Launching from Cape Canaveral. I should really have launched from Vandenberg, but we're in the air now, so I can't really change that. Over a kilometer up now, moving at 90, almost 100 meters per second, 1/3 the speed of sound. This is the point where things normally explode for you. This thing doesn't explode. Nice slideshow. Thank you, sir. Do the low graphics help save mass? What do you mean, low, Duxon? I'm not entirely sure why it's running so slowly, and it seems to be like speeding up now that we're actually in the air. Hello, seed smelling cheese. We're 4 kilometers up. Let's... yeah. Target prograde vector. Get this gravity turn turning. Apoapsis is currently 8 kilometers. Speed is increasing to near the speed of sound. We're going to be going supersonic quite soon. And we are now transonic, supersonic. Or should be, at least. We're actually at such a high altitude that we might not get any Mach effects. You can see our surface speed is now increasing dramatically. Let's... don't want to hold that vector... yeah, let's hold this vector. Inclination is currently 50 degrees. Blast and simulating games. This is going to be a pretty easy launch. I'm just pressing the spacebar periodically to yeah, just to get everything going. But we got another minute or so left in our booster engines, and then we'll be transferring over to our core stage. I hate this music. It's decided to get really loud. We'll be transferring over to our core stage in a moment. And this is going to be a while, because the third stage is an AJ-10, which is going to take 5 minutes to burn. It's got a 5-minute burn time. The second stage is going to be going for about 3.5 minutes, almost 4 minutes. Like we're still running on stage 0.5 effectively, as we cruise our way up into space in our silver machine of wondrousness. We've broken 1 kilometer per second, and these boosters are in fact going to end up most likely in the sea, which is good. I'd rather not have them hitting cities, if that's at all possible. So we're making our way up the Floridian coastline at the moment. As you can see, we're kind of coasting out of the atmosphere, slowly but surely. Boosters are about to burn out. And... come on. Boosters have... I think boosters have burnt out. Boosters have been jettisoned. And boosters have run into each other and exploded. Good. Now there's more junk and debris coming down into the sea. You can see them dancing around in the atmosphere as we continue our way into space. Our apoapsis is currently 62 kilometers. Not quite into space yet, or this isn't going to go to space just yet. This should actually be kind of uneventful, I hope. Our time to apoapsis is decreasing. Who are we nuking? Nobody. Hello, Fahy. Once we cross 100 kilometers here, you can't see that. I can't do anything to get that UI element down. Can I get a surface info? Yes. Once we cross it, I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Once you cross 100 kilometers on this readout, I'll be jettisoning the fairings. FPS settled now. You say that sometimes it just like wonks up quite badly. There's the sun, by the way. You can see it's the sun because it's quite bright, and if I move the spacecraft over it, you can now just see the engines. What's our airspeed? Can I... Surface speed is 2 kilometers per second. Is that in agreement with what I'm seeing here? Yes, surface speed is 2 kilometers per second. So our time to apoapsis is decreasing, which is slightly worrying, but that's kind of fine. I am firing mostly upwards still. Apologies for the flashing, this happens. Just wanted to check my orbital thing. Where are we heading? We're heading into a polar orbit. What game is this? Kerbal Space Program. Or according to VF, the Kerbal Space Program. Powered entirely by parsley. Do you know, we're at 86 kilometers. There's not going to be any damage done to our satellite as we power onwards, so fairing sep. There goes the fairings. And here is our polar satellite, which has literally some solar panels on it. I've had power issues with this thing in the past, so I've plastered the booster stage for the actual satellite with solar panels. Primary booster is about to burn out, so we're going on to second stage in 28 seconds. And it has to be in 28 seconds. There's no, oh, I can leave it for a minute. No, it has to be then, because otherwise this engine will not fire. Also, I need to check the AJ-10. Is this pressure fed? True. Propellant very stable. That is great. That has unlimited ignitions. Oh. Time to apoapsis is currently increasing because our thrust to weight ratio is 1.75. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. MECO. And second stage ignition. This engine only has the one ignition, correct? Yes. Please replay the takeoff. That was incredibly slow and laggy, so no. So, we're aiming at basically a minimum of 832 kilometers in our apoapsis. It's currently 128. So we're going to continue thrusting upwards for a little while yet. Inclination is currently 80 degrees, so our inclination vector is good. We should be good to go. What are our sounding rockets? 460 and 4,400 kilometers. Okay, so we should get both those. Do I want to start circularizing a bit? Time to apoapsis is increasing, so yeah, let's start doing a bit of circularization. Not much, because I do want to continue on the upwards trend. Just because we do need a high periaps. You can see we're now flying over the US. I'm kind of concerned with the polar orbit that there is the very real chance that we'll start. Like, our first stage is probably going to drop into somewhere in the US, onto land. But there is a very real chance that I use, you guys might not be able to see it here, but I use, oh, what's it called? Does it say? Like, no. What is it called? No, that's resistant rotation. That's resistant object enhancement. Ah! Mass collected living space. I use a mod basically means that if I have to have a satellite network in space before I can really go anywhere. How high am I planning on going? The mission contract says I need to go. Oh, this is it here. Between. Basically, the lowest I can be is 832.246 kilometers. The highest I can go is 8,647.082 kilometers. So I'm basically going to try and get this into a somewhat elliptical orbit. You can see the mods are a bit weird at this altitude. I'm going to try and get this into a somewhat elliptical orbit of probably something in the region of 5,000 apoapsis, 1,000 periapsis in terms of kilometers. But we are very close to circularizing. We're also getting close to the apoapsis, which is slightly concerning. Periapsis is only minus 4.5 million meters underground now, which is 4,500 kilometers. But I'm planning on going quite high. We're already in space. This is in Kerbal Space. I think I've annoyed one of the mods as well, which isn't good. Please use layman's terms. So the highest I'm going to go is like 5,000 kilometers. The lowest I plan on going is probably about 1,000 kilometers. And per apoapsis, farthest distance from the surface is rising. Closest to the surface is still negative, but rising quite quickly. Orbital period's looking good, inclination's looking good, eccentricity I don't care about. Reducing towards 0, so it's kind of, it is circularizing quite well. And once this engine burns out, we're just gonna enter coast phase. To the apoaps. Come on. 1,000 kilometer apoaps, please. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, let's jettison that stage. which is no longer necessary. Let's throttle down to 0. Activate our RCS systems on the booster. This is reaction control thrusters, which are burning, I believe, hydrazine. I don't know if I can... Yes, they are burning hydrazine. And what I want to do now is I want to... Oh, I might be able to do this burn manually. Now add a maneuver up here. I'm going to be burning prograde. Like this. I want to get the apoapsis to about 5 kilometers. That's... or 5,000 kilometers. 3,000... That should be within parameters. 5,002. Yes. Perfect. By the way, this is actually Earth. You can see there's the continental US. Just under these clouds here will be Ireland and the UK. It's just kind of coming up to evening there by the looks of it. Down over here is Australia. What we're going to do now is we are going to... How long until this burn? 15 minutes. We're going to enable our RCS systems. We're going to disable that. And we're actually going to... Can I aim for the node? I'm going to manually aim for the node here.
They couldn't get any other way.
So this is going to be some slow movements, because this is... This is a case of I'm trying to save fuel, RCS fuel, because I want to use that as an extra boost. So we need 1500 meters per second. We got 3.6 kilometers a second in this second stage. So it's gonna be... about a 3-minute burn. 2 to 3 minute burn. How are we now, Chris? Okay, so just to be on the safe side, I want to go node, execute. Yeah, it's going to start burning at the exact time. Okay, so we're going to cancel those. Just want to check the flight computer. We're going to do this manually, so we're going to just put in a bit of time warp up until about 5 minutes till the node. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.5 minutes. Okay, that is near perfect. Now we're gonna just line up on the node once again. Turn off stability assist. Watching the review of the Strawdon. That was intentionally negative, because I did see one person complaining in the comments that, oh, they're being very negative to them, and it's an alpha. No, if you release a product and don't have alpha after it, that means you've released it fully. Okay, is this propellant very stable? That shouldn't be stable, but okay, let's get the AJ-10 activated and burning. So this is our circularization burn. I'd like to actually get flight computer into node hold, because it'll be slightly better at holding the node than this. We're gonna actually have this full satellite in orbit. I don't know if I like that. And it looks like I'm actually burning almost exactly when I should, because we're 226 from the node, we've got 233 of a burn time listed here. So we're going pretty perfectly for ideal node. Zareva, yeah, I don't know why that's happening. See, it doesn't happen up here. It's just when I'm actually focused on the craft that... I think it's trying to draw an atmosphere where there is none. Or it's trying to draw the sea. I do apologize for that. So on Discord, that was being intentionally negative. I put it in the at the start of the video and in the description as well, Blash. Technology is a bit behind Elite Dangerous. Yes, but considering this is in Unity. This is the Unity engine. And we are now orbital. Orbit is now stable. And we are about to hit green periapsis. $700 kilometers. Good on periapsis. Now we're just burning for apoapsis, which we should get pretty easily. Is there any science I can do up here? No. Use frameshift drive. Well, Sim, considering... I'll show you once I'm back in the menus. This is supposed to be 1958 technology. The in-game date is, I think, November 1958. And I've got a communication satellite. The stream should come with... Yeah. I didn't quite know this would happen, to be quite honest. Not entirely sure why this is flashing blue constantly. If I zoom out far enough, will it stop? No, I think... See, I could probably fix it with a game restart, but it took me 15 minutes to launch the game in the first place. So if I just kind of focus over... There's nowhere I can really focus that's not got blue flashing. If I go to the space view... And just... We have actually completed the mission. So I can turn off the engine. That is mission completion. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just... yeah, we're going to... Enable all engines. And we're gonna extend that and just burn for a second or two. Why is this not firing? Because I've locked this off. We're just gonna fire for a little bit to get away from the booster stage. That should be good enough. Let's turn that off. Let's kill the throttle and let's get some spin stabilization going. And there we go, we got a satellite in orbit. At, I don't want to say what attempt number this was, but at literally an attempt. And there's the booster stage. Off over there, where is it? It's not saying how far away it is. Interesting. We can head back to the Space Center now. And we'll get our rewards for everything. This is just a game for rocket experiments. It's just a rocket game, Dave. You just build rockets and kind of hope for the best. Can I go to Mars? That's something I actually want to check, Benjamin, is when is... Let's recover all this stuff. When is my Mars window coming up? Where's Kerbal alarm clock here? Is Kerbal alarm clock up here? I need to see... Let's ship manifest... It's texture replacer. It's remote tech. That's the game that, that's the one that means I've got flight computer. Do I not have distant object in hand, or Kerbal alarm clock enabled here? Because that's really actually quite annoying. Right, I'm actually gonna have to go through the tracking station to a random satellite. Let's go to the Flange 1 Heavy Probe. Because I just want to see when my Mars window is. I think there might be one in the 60s. But I'm still kind of at the very early stages of spaceflight. Like, that was... There's a few orbiting satellites, but that was the first communication satellite. This doesn't have the weird blue flashing. Okay. Where's alarm clock? Do I not have Kerbal alarm clock? Am I gonna have to add Kerbal alarm clock here? Oh, that explains a lot. I don't have Kerbal alarm clock at all. Well, that's a mod that I'm gonna have to... Yeah, I don't... All the mods I have, Kerbal alarm clock's not one of them. Whoops. So I don't know when the Mars window is. I'm gonna download Kerbal alarm clock into this mod pack tonight. So I got 20 science. Is there anything in R&D I can do with 20 science? Is there anything along here that actually gets unlocked? No. I could... Ooh, procedural SRB. Yeah, let's research basic solids, and then with mature solids we'll probably get the Minuteman, the Altair 2, Star 17, Waxwing Kick. Nice. So basic solids will be getting the Altair, which was Vanguard's third stage. Reused as Able Delta. Used to circularize an apogee or perform final payload kick. Nice. Castor 1, which was the Scout rocket. Oh, interesting. And also used strap-ons for Thor first stages, including Delta D. Castor 1 SRB for Thor Able Delta D. Upper stages of the Thor Ables. 3 of them. A procedural SRB, which is the one I'll probably be using the most. And the Castor 1 for the Delta D, which is the same as this one. Almost identical. In fact, they are identical. I don't know why there's 2 of them. But we got 1.5 million, or just over just under 1.1 million, to spend. What is in mission control for me today? Another communications test satellite with almost identical thing. Interesting. Oh, these have eccentricity values. I don't like these. I don't want to try and screw around with the Molniya orbit just right now. I will eventually, but I don't want to screw around with the Molniya orbit. Yeah, I'm gonna accept that and just launch. I'm gonna be very cheeky here. Was that a cat you saw? What? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna that rocket that I just launched, that entire payload, I'm going to launch it again. So that was the Flange 1 Heavy Comsat A1. Which, if that's an autosave chip, it's this one. There should be... It is not this one. Which means it is the Flange 1 Heavy Comsat A1. Which is presumably what that... Yes! This is it. We're gonna build... Just want to double check that the fuel is definitely correct. Because I did have a version of this where the fuselage was wrong. Yes, that is correct. Just gonna put the payload bay back on. Save that. Add that to the build list, which is something I didn't talk about. So something I haven't spoken about yet is I'm using Realistic Progression 0, which is what RP-0 stands for in the title. And RP-0 gets annoying because I have Kerbal construction time. Launchpad's being reconditioned at the moment, so they can be used for another launch. That is done. This is where epilepsy warning does come into it. You can see we've actually got another ship that I haven't launched yet. Orbiter 1. Is there anything SVH? No. And our basic solids will take 62 days to get there. Orbiter 1 is going to be warped to completion now. Give me a good time. Yes. Ah, this isn't going to be good. Ah, here's our date, by the way. It's the 8th of June, 1959 in game. We're getting ready for our first orbital Kerbal. Just gonna speed up time a bit. There we go. I want to have a daytime launch. So we're gonna fire off. Yeah, let's fire Jet. I'm watching the toy show. I will be watching the toy show tonight. Yes. So I got yesterday, and I didn't actually mention a little stand for my tablet, which is actually really useful. So we're just kind of waiting for the game to load. Hopefully it hasn't crashed. It hasn't crashed. There is a very real chance that the game will crash at random when I'm loading in ships. Where's the Toy Show Discord room? I'll make it after the stream. So this is basically the same launch vehicle as the Flange 1 Heavy launch vehicle, or Flange... Yes, the Flange Heavy launch vehicle. And on top here, you can see we have a Mercury re-entry module from the Mercury program, which is real, and I'm quite proud of this. I've built up a little stage in here, but it's all covered up by a fairing, so it actually looks like a real rocket. I'm really proud that I managed to do that. Now this one we're going to be just putting into a standard orbit, so we'll be doing a pitch or a yaw maneuver. I don't want to do a roll maneuver in that pitch, and it gets annoying because I always overdo it. So I'll just be yawing to the right, which may actually be this way, I think? I'm not entirely sure. But let's get ready to launch. Let's get throttle up to full. And here's where I prove that I actually know this rocket. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, main engine start, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff of the Orbiter 1 mission. Slowly but surely making its way up the tower. This doesn't have much power at all, but it is very, very slowly ascending because this Mercury capsule is very heavy. If I had solid rocket boosters, I would have strapped them on here, but I don't. Houston, we have a problem. We do not have a problem. That, I think, is a realistic launch for a... Yeah, I'm supposed to say 5 as it can sound like 5. In a countdown, you do say 5. However, it is usually replaced by engine sequence start. Or some other command, because with 5 seconds to go on a liquid rocket, you're wanting to start the engines. Unless you're a French rocket, in which case 5 seconds to go means 5 seconds until you start the engine start procedure. So we're at a kilometer up. Let's start our yaw maneuver. Yaw over to about 5 degrees. I think that's 5 degrees. Oh no, we're yawed over to 15 degrees. That's... I don't know how far yawed over we are, but we're yawed over. Coming through some heavy cloud at the moment. Because, yes, that is a thing with these mods. And oh my god, that cloud goes on forever. Whoops. Issues. Houston, we actually have a problem. We seem to be getting some sort of roll going on, which is interesting. Continue yawing over it. Do need to have a bit of an aggressive launch profile. Luke Bracken, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the RainbowDave Madhouse. Hope you enjoy your stay. I do need a relatively aggressive launch profile just because the Mercury capsule is quite heavy and these two stages are... stage 2 is a 1.1 TWR. That might be okay then. But we're gonna continue on with basically the same launch profile as last time. The only difference is this time we're going to the east to allow Earth's rotation to actually aid with the orbital maneuvers. Actually makes it a lot easier to get into orbit if you fly east. "10 kilometers up." Apoapsis is currently 15 kilometers. And the periapsis is already decreasing. But that won't really decrease until we get quite high up into the atmosphere. At what point am I losing the... I don't like that. We'll jettison the... Yeah, we'll jettison the thing there. I can't edit the things now for some reason. There we go. When I get rid of that stage. So we're gonna have a launch escape system jettison after we jettison the boosters. And go down to prograde now and keep the gravity turn going. I sort of sound like a doctor. Do I? I will admit I have a vague idea of what I'm doing here, which is interesting. Because I do quite like rocketry. Booster burnout is going to be happening in a few seconds' time. It looks... Oh, I've got the wrong engine mix on these boosters. I could have these boosters burning much more efficiently. I've got the wrong engine mix. Yeah, I've got an oxygen... Oh! Do I have the same problem here? No, I've got the correct engine mix on the core stage. The boosters are running a wrong engine mix. Also, that weird flashing seems to have been something very specific to... Oops. Maybe not. Something specific to the polar orbit I was getting into. We're gonna kind of cruise up here. This is the aim of this is to get into as low an orbit as I can, I think. Crew duration of 1 day. Yeah, just as low an orbit as I can. And hilariously, I forgot to actually... I might swap over to the satellite I launched a while back and just hop into that near Apoapsis, because I realized I forgot to actually get the sounding rocket missions. But we'll try and get this thing into orbit first, because Jeb here is going to stay in orbit for about a day. We're at 95 kilometer apoapsis. We can flatten out slightly further. Time to apoapsis is decreasing, however, but that's fine as long as we get it over 140 kilometers. We will be good, and we should have an orbital maneuvering engine in the form of an AJ-10. I think it's an AJ-10 I've popped on this thing. It is an AJ-10. And I forgot to pressurize this. Oh, crap on a cracker. If we don't get orbital... yeah, if we don't get orbital from this, we won't get orbital at all. We have to get orbital with this second stage, or we're not going orbital at all. Because I forgot to change this tank into a fuselage. That's just a tank. So it's not pressurized, which means this engine is not getting pressurized fuel, which means it's not going to actually fire. Also means if I go into this, I can dump... no I can't. Why can't I dump the fuel from the... I think it might not have any fuel in it at all, because I did change the... Oh my god. What I did was I changed the tank type, but forgot to actually fill it. That's even dumber. We're gonna have to burn upwards, because our apoapsis is creeping up on us quite quickly. And we're not even into space, we're still actually technically in the atmosphere. This might be a failed mission. How do you get more XP for ETS2? Very easily, use cheat engine. So the atmosphere extends up to about 140 kilometers, which I presume it does in real life as well, but over 100 a year past the Kármán line, which means more of the atmosphere is below you than is above you. In fact, most of the atmosphere is below you once you hit the Kármán line. We are now going downwards, I think. No, but we're edging up on our apoapsis quite quickly. Although, time to apogee is increasing, which is good. But we've got 17 seconds left in this engine. This is really borderline whether we'll actually make it or not. 5, 4, 3, 1, 0. Come on, please have enough pressure left. Yes! I completely forgot to dump the launch tower. What is this in the bottom right corner? This is Jeb. This is Jebediah Kerman, our pilot for today. Jeb is a bit of a lunatic, which is why he's being sent in this first orbital mission. We're 8 seconds from the apoapsis. We're gonna have to be a lot more aggressive with this. Come on. Okay, we're increasing apoapsis time, finally. This is not gonna go orbital. Because I made a really stupid choice and didn't actually fill that tank of fuel. What's in this tank here? Hydrazine for... Okay, we got 2 minutes left in the engines. I mean, the joy is most of our actual energy is going to come towards the end of this engine. Most of the boosting. Because once the the thrust to weight ratio, which is what I'm looking at over here, gets over 2, which is nudging towards now, and it'll be up around 5-ish once we are finished with this stage. We should be pretty good. Right, we're gonna start nudging down and try to get some... How old is this game? It's a few years old, but this is with a very, very heavily tweaked texture pack. Hello, Guillermo. Okay, so orbital apoapsis, good. We can start edging over towards... Can we just burn prograde? I'm gonna just burn prograde and see if we can get orbital from that. Because I genuinely don't know if this is gonna even be possible. You can see right now we're gonna be splashing down somewhere in the mid-Atlantic. There's Africa, there's Ireland. I'm somewhere over here. I guess that most of you guys are in this little circle here as well. Come on, get orbital. 2.8 TWR, increasing rapidly. 3,000 kilometers yet to burn into periapsis, come on. This game is not one bit realistic. It is very realistic, F2 footballers. Hello Tristan Port as well. This game is very realistic, especially with the mod set I've got. We've got 50 seconds of fuel left. I don't know if we're going to manage this. 2.4, we might manage this, you know. We might get orbital, come on. Come on, we can do this. If we can even get close. We're gonna do it, we're gonna get orbital. Oh my god! After all the failures, and all of the failures were related to the second stage, we are now... Stable orbit, come on, 140 minimum. Yes, we are now in a stable orbit. Although it is gonna just scoot out over here quite a distance, which I'm perfectly fine with. In fact, I can just... Got time to waste here. I can actually just go to this and this. And stage. And stage. That was not the deorbiting stage. Phew. We are now in a stable orbit, which means cruise speed record of 9 kilometers a second has been met, and communications test satellite is in orbit. Let's turn off SAS, turn on RCS, which actually is going to require me to just enable it here and just get some spin stabilization going. You can go in to the capsule with Jebediah. You can see the curvature of the Earth there. Flat Earth Society won't be very pleased. But we are orbital. This is our return booster. We'll be firing that at one of our apoapses. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the Space Center. And oh, come on, phone. I need to... It's not letting me... So what we're going to do now is just collect up the debris that was left behind, which is all the launch clamps. Because I do need to now go to the tracking station, and we're going to get a couple of other contract completes here. And I want to get Comsat 1A. I'll turn off the debris. Comsat. It'll be one of the only Comsat A1s going. That's not it, but it's probably this one. No, that's in a very circular looking orbit. Oh, it is this one. So this one we're gonna do some cheekiness. We're going to do something extremely cheeky here because I want to get 2 contracts complete real quick. What I'm going to do is, hopefully there's enough time left in this to do this. Here, what's my orbital period? 2.5 hours. So we got our sounding contract. Cruise altitude record of 500 kilometers. Oh, I've accidentally got that one. I should have got sounding rocket low. Does this not count towards sounding rocket low? No, because this is the booster stage. Where's the actual... This is the actual, orbital stage. That was the booster stage that I was looking at. This is the actual satellite. Or should be. I think we'll be on the night side of Earth, so it might be a bit dark. I do apologise, there's nothing I can do about that. We are in fact on the night... Oh no, we're on the day side of Earth. Here's our little satellite coasting around, and yeah, we're... Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to design a sounding rocket. How much of a cheated? Not at all, Monjack. What we're going to do is we're going to design a sounding rocket to go... super duper high. Because we need to get it up to about 4,000 kilometers. We should have the technology to do this. It's gonna look ridiculous. So first things first, we're gonna need to get into the VAB. I'm gonna try and make this so that it doesn't take too long to build, because I am running out of time on those 2 contracts. I should be running out of time on them. And I'm gonna prioritize this as a build. Just so you get to see a different rocket going up on the flange 1 heavy. So we're gonna get the... Yeah, let's use the A4 guidance unit with the A4 nose section. And where's the A4 mid section? Is this it? Let's pop 2... Oh no, there should be like a tail section here as well for the A4, I think. Oh no, because the A4 engine is down here, and we'll use the A4 engine. It's just, yes, that's got its fuel in. Fantastic. So we got our lovely A4 here. This will take us up to 1.5, theoretically 1.5 kilometers. Let's put our A4 fins on it. In fact, can I get this into A7 configuration? Oh, I can get it into A9 configuration. That's even more useful. Let's remove the tank. And remove the tank. And remove the tank and replace it all with iodine and liquid oxygen. Yeah, that's much better. I don't particularly care if this is gonna go very far, but there we go. We've got our A7 or A4 fins on it. Some of you might laddies over Ireland. He's actually gonna fly pretty close to my house. Some of you might recognize what this rocket actually is. That is the A9. No. Do I have the A9? I don't have an A9 cockpit. We're gonna launch this up coupled to... 1 meter decoupler should be enough. 1 meter decoupler should be enough to just pop on the end there. Yes. We're just gonna use a 1 meter engine here. Procedural tank. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do you know what? We'll make this even sillier. Straight out to 3 meters, and we'll put on a 7 meter thing. And we're gonna slap 4 LR-89s on the bottom. Oh, we can make this a lot bigger. Oh, this is going to be wondrous. This is practically going to be in space by the time I even launch it. Okay, that's as tall as I can make it. 60 meters. Somehow I've got insufficient avionics for a 205-ton vessel. Do I really need avionics? No, if I put... I'm gonna put stabilization wings on this thing. And I'm gonna need a lot of them. So, actually, no, let's rotate this like that. That's spin stabilization wings there, and we're gonna put another set right in beside it there, so this thing is going to spin up pretty quickly. And in fact, let's shorten the rocket itself, but extend the width of it to 4.6 meters. There we go. We got a 205-ton rocket, so I'm going to need some avionics. If I get the procedural avionics, which should be here, put a 1 meter diameter thing on, and just crank it up to the top. 40 tons. The maximum I can do is 40 tons, so we'll just make it 150 mils then. And we'll just put a bunch of these on. Can I change the color scheme for this? I can't. Oh. So how far off are we for avionics? We're actually good for avionics. Perfect. In terms of what color scheme I want for this thing, ablative would be nice. I think we'll go for... seeing as we're launching an A4, let's go with the German stripes. And the A4 engine is actually going to have to... Yeah, I'm going to have to do some stage maneuvering here. Like that. Because this thing's going to have to sit for on the launch pad for a second just to spool the engines up. Despite the fact that it's got a 1.3 thrust to weight ratio, we're just going to pop that on. That kind of fueling enabled. Just going to shrink this down by like a meter or so. And I've just realized I can do this. Pop a 5th LR-89 engine into the middle. This is a poor man's Saturn V. Actually I can now re-lengthen it because it's got a quite high thrust to weight ratio. I can throw on some more avionics, it'll be fine. Okay, that's about as tall as I can get it. It's still got a TWR of 1.05. I need to go outside. I've had to leave the VAB, this thing's so stupid tall. An extra... This is gonna be like an extra 120 tons worth of avionics. Okay, we're good. We're good. The most ridiculous thing is, this thing's actually going to take off pretty nicely. There's all the... My spin stabilization wings have gone wonky. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna snap these onto there. Snap these onto there. And oh, that would explain a lot. There we go. Spin stabilization wings. Which they're still spin stabilizing. Dumbo. Let's call this Dumbo 1. Dumbo minus 1. Unfortunately, it's going to take 65... It's going to take 2 months to build this thing. This is how I play KSP, Witchy. I kid you not, this is how I play KSP, is I actually do think about actual logistics of things. Which is probably going to shock people quite badly, but I do. I want to move Dumbo 1 up. So it is only going to take 65 days to build. And we'll warp to complete basic solids. I could have put a basic solid on the bottom now that I think about it, but oh well. Let's warp to complete number 1, and we failed the sounding... Yeah, we've failed the sounding rocket contracts. I'll just pick them up again. It's fine. Because for some reason I always seem to have sounding rocket medium and sounding rocket high. So sounding rocket high is from BAE Systems. Now it's a 5,700 kilometer thing. And sounding rocket medium to 130 kilometers. From NPO Energomash, apparently. This should get up quite high. So in Kerbal construction time, this one could explode, man, Jack. Let's roll this thing out. It's going to take about a day to roll out to the pad. And I'm not happy with the time it's left me at. So let's just warp to morning. There's the sun rising. There we go, that should be good. And we will launch Dumbo 1. Or Dumbo minus 1. Which this thing could almost definitely get orbital. If I wanted it to. Like, it's gonna jump off the launch pad quite well, I think. Maybe. Here we are. With Orbiter 1 food, water and oxygen. Have I accidentally left Jeb up there to die? Hang on. I need to get... I don't want to go. I've accidentally recovered Dumbo -1. I've also completely forgotten about the dude that I left in orbit about a couple of 100 days ago. Do I still have Dumbo -1 in storage? Because if I don't, that's a bit of a problem. No vehicles in storage. Oh dang it, I've accidentally done that. Tracking station. I need to get to Orbiter 1 right now. I need to get to Orbiter 1 right now, because I think Jeb might be dead. And stuck in orbit. Orbiter 1, Orbiter 1, Orbiter 1. Actually, if I just disable this and this. Orbiter 1, MET 66 days. This is what happens when I don't have Kerbal Alarm Clock. Now there is a chance that I might be able to get the ship back. I don't think I'll get him back though. Let's see what happens here when I go to him. Yeah, Jebediah Kerbin died of starvation and dehydration. However, we can, I think, get the ship back. No operational anything on board. Can I orbital retrograde? I want to warp to the apoapsis, which I think I've already passed, have I? No, we're heading out towards it now, so we'll just time warp up to there. And we will fire the retro burn. We're gonna get the capsule back at the very least. Want to arm the parachute as well while I'm up here. Let's fire the retro rockets. Let's detach the retro rockets because that's... Oh no, this is... Oh no. Oh, oh, oh. Oh. Who wanted explosions? Who wanted explosions? Because this isn't going to end well. Because that is a very steep descent. Yeah. This is gonna burn up. This is gonna burn up real fast. We're gonna get into... Yeah, we're now at normal warp, normal speed. Coming into the atmosphere at... Unfortunately it's dark, but it'll... This is gonna light up real quick. So you can see the capsules here. Being aerodynamically put into a retrograde position. Now it's heating up. RCS. Yep, there it goes. How quick was that? Yeah. I knew that was gonna happen as well because I was just... You get used to what kind of altitude your re-entry is going to want to aim for, and in RP-0 that's about 35 to 40 kilometers altitude. That descent was aiming for minus 400. And what's worse, I didn't actually get the crude record because I forgot to actually let him survive. So I'm going to have to build a new Orbiter 1. Gonna have to get a new Orbiter 1 in production. This time I'm actually going to just stay on the ship while I time warp around for a couple of days. So let's get Orbiter 1. Flange 1. I do have some weird naming systems. You got High Sounder, Ubel 1, Soyuz, Spaceman, Sputnik, Tetnasurionfa, the A4 series of rockets, Flange 1 Heavy, the original Flange 1, Comsat 1, but we're going to want Orbiter 1 to load in here. And what I want to do is actually go up here and put fuel in this. The AJ-10 takes UDMH and ERFNA. Yeah, it takes red fuming nitric acid. And that's got 6 minutes of burn time. I don't think we'll actually need the retro rocket pack. I think I just come up here and get rid of this and get rid of this. I think we can do all of our orbital maneuvering with the AJ-10 stage. So I'm just gonna alter this slightly. There we go. I don't know what this music even is, by the way. And I'm also gonna want to alter this so that the that is down there. We should be up in space by that point, so we'll save. Get Orbiter 1 added to the VAB build list. What time is streaming till? Probably about ish. I think Sim's streaming after me as well, so that could be quite interesting. So we got 102 days until Comsat A1. Gonna put that back again. We're gonna put that back in another launch window. And we're gonna ignore the Dumbo, which means I'm gonna get 2 failed missions or 2 failed contracts, which is fine. I've got enough money and everything to deal with that. Orbiter 1 is ready to be rolled out onto the pad. Please fly. Okay. Orbiter 1 launch with Jebediah's clone, also called Jebediah Carmen. Apparently I don't have persistent deaths. So, Jebediah is reborn as Jebediah. He didn't die, he just teleported back to Earth because he realized his food and water were kind of getting a tad low. What's Jim streaming? I don't know, he said he's streaming tonight though. He's been planning this for a while, so I mean, presumably he's got something in mind. So there we go, we got Orbiter 1 again. And we're just gonna immediately get into our 10-second launch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Or, you know, hover, that works too. Is it lifting off? Liftoff of the Orbiter 1 vehicle. Ever so slowly. Hey, Mark. And we have cleared the tower. By the way, that tower's there just to keep the main fuel tank topped up with fuel. That's the only reason I have that really quite tall launch tower. Everybody who plays Kerbal Space Program loves Jebediah. So just going to physics warp real quick, and that doesn't seem to make any difference. But we'll try physics warping up till about a kilometer-ish. Sim is live now, apparently. Okay. I'm gonna go until about past though. But if you want to watch some Farm Sim, Sim's live. It's no big deal to me if you want to head off. I know most of you guys would prefer to watch some Farm Sim. Because, you know, that's the mainstay of the channel and whatnot. There's the shadow of the orbiter heading up. Jeb can just eat the other Jebs to stay alive. So we're gonna, yeah, do you know what, this is gonna be the last mission of the day. I'm gonna get this thing up into orbit and coast it around for 2 days. We've... Oh, we somehow actually got the 1-day record, okay. So we got a crew duration record of 2 days to do now. So despite the fact that Jeb died... did Dumbo -1 make it up? Dumbo -1 I accidentally hit recover, so Dumbo -1 never actually launched. I can rebuild Dumbo -1 and actually get some stuff done to it tonight, and maybe put up a video of Dumbo -1 attempting to launch tomorrow. Because I would like to see that thing go up, and I'll optimize it so that it goes up in the most optimized way. Let's get this thing burning prograde. Although this time at least the AJ-10 can fire, which is good. The AJ-10 is now actually receiving fuel that is pressurized. Which... where's the AJ-10 stage there? There it is. And that, and then... yeah, that's not right. I'll move that stage down to there. I can build a quick sounding rocket with spin stabilization if you want me to. Because they're actually quite easy to build. I'm just going to hold a 40-ish degree angle. The apoapsis time can tick up for a bit. Should be about a minute by the time we jettison our boosters. There's Kennedy Space Center over there. Unfortunately, there's no Cape Canaveral Air Force Base, which would be probably around here-ish. Is there a speed spin where they actually just tear themselves apart? Yes. And I've not hit that yet, but there is... if you spin them up fast enough, they can just rip themselves to shreds. So we are coming up to booster SEP. Very quickly. Probably 3, 2, 1. Booster SEP. That didn't go to plan. Oh my god, that was dangerous. And for some reason one of the LR-87s had vapor in the feed lines and shut down, apparently. Oh, that was stupid and dangerous. So, time to apogee is ticking down. This is apogee, because Earth. Stage 2 is going to be a 3-minute burn, and then Stage 3, which has a very low TWR, has 6 minutes of fuel on it. Did they? Yes, they did, because I jettisoned them probably about 2 seconds too quickly. Maybe a second too quickly. Which, that wasn't concerning at all. So just going to keep on this angle to try and get up above 140 kilometers apoapsis straight away, and then we'll worry about that. But we're now at a point where even if there is a major problem, we can just jettison the rest of the rocket and set up the parachutes. So there goes the launch escape system. It's gonna go off into well, actually, probably into space. Because that thing's got a stupid thrust-to-weight ratio. Meanwhile, we're gonna just continue flying up at this 40-degree angle. It's actually about 41 degrees angle. And see how we do here. Got a minute of fuel left in this. Apoapsis is currently 90 kilometers. Flying at nearly 2 kilometers per second. It's actually roughly at this stage that the Falcon 9 will be separating. Actually a bit higher, but the Falcon 9 booster will be separating from the second stage will be going off. Falcon 9 booster will be deploying grid fins and performing the boost back burn. Back to Kennedy Space Center, or actually Cape Canaveral Air Force Base. Or alternatively doing a boost back to the one of the drone ships, but I'm not SpaceX and I'm not very good at doing launch profiles, so we're going to continue upwards. We've got a minute of fuel left in this stage now. Apoapsis is currently 103 kilometers. Time to Apoapsis is 33 seconds. That's not nearly enough, but it should start increasing quite quickly now as the TWR passes 1.3. So we've still got about a G of acceleration. Yeah, we're accelerating about 10 meters per second just over, coming up towards 2G of acceleration. 1.5 at the very least. And 26 seconds of fuel left in this stage. Very little delta V left. Jeb will hopefully survive this one, seeing as I'm now using the AJ-10 as a deorbiting engine. I won't have the issue of I can't detach it because it's a solid rocket booster. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. MECO, second stage ignition. You can see where the second stage was still igniting when it was just kind of flaming but not really pushing away on the first stage. There goes the first stage. However, we're going to just continue on an upwards trajectory. Holding steady with time to Apoapsis. This is... So we're falling and accelerating at about the same time. That's perfect. It's now increasing, so we can start a small bit of circularization. That bit's no longer needed. It's hilarious how much of the rocket is just literally to get out of the atmosphere. And that's its entire purpose, is just, you know, getting out of the atmosphere initially. It's more than half of the rocket is effectively useless. Let's turn on the lights so that Jeb can see what he's doing. Let's also deploy the nose fairing antenna. Which you can see it there, a little black spot is the antenna. Okay, we got Apoapsis 150 kilometers. We're actually in space, just need to level out our orbit now. Or circularize it. Hopefully we'll be able to do that. Maybe. This is not a good launch profile. We got that annoying flashing going on again. Actually, everything I've launched, apart from that one booster stage on Comsat 1A, everything I've launched has re-entered. On the flights that I've done today. There's been nothing that's just been stranded in space.
Hello, Dave! Is that Dave? Dave's there!
Alfie, thank you very much for subscribing. Could have sworn you were subscribed before, but thank you again, I guess. I'm gonna have to aim a bit. Because I know that perhaps it's decreasing a bit faster than I like. A lot faster than I'd like. Oh, the gravity losses. Probably should have used MechJeb to do this ascent, but he's not very good with single ignition engines. If all my engines had unlimited ignitions, then I wouldn't have an issue. It's also not very good with ullage. I think actually I can... Can I deploy the interstage fairings right now? Can I just get rid of them? Decouple one fairing gone? No. Yes, I can theoretically decouple the... No, I didn't drop the fairings. How do you drop the fairings? I want to just drop the fairings. Can I decouple the fairings, please, game? If I set this on its own stage and fire it, will it... No, that didn't decouple the fairings. The fairings appear to be stuck. Possibly because I've got them inside the Mercury capsule, which might mean that I'm now going to drag this booster stage up to orbit with me. This should get us into a stable-ish orbit. If I just level off here. It's not going to be a full orbit, but my manually judging orbit entry, yeah. We'll be decoupling the orbital stage in a second. And actually that can all fire at the same time. So that's that done. We'll just go to throttle 0. Really glad that I did that because those fairings never actually separated. We'll enable our RCS boosters. And actually we've got no throttle, so we can do that. RCS is now active. We're going to cruise to the apoapsis, which is where? Over Africa. Actually we can... I don't really need a warp to here. Wait, to here. And let's cancel it. A couple of minutes left to the warp. In the warp. Let's cancel it. No, we'll just warp full way. Why not? And I want to be aiming prograde, which should be in this direction. Orbital prograde. I was actually aiming retrograde. That's not what I want to be doing. I just want to get into a stable orbit so I can go around for 2 days. With the AJ-10 I've got unlimited ignitions, so we'll be good. Downside is I don't think this is throttleable. So if I just throttle up a small bit, it should go to 100% throttle. Not really a thing I can wing. Yeah, it's the thing you can wing. Yeah, it's just instantly gone to 100% throttle. Which is fine. Periapsis, we need it to be over 140, so just ease that up. And we'll try, yeah, we'll try circularizing, why not? If I can get to about 500 kilometers, that'll be good. It'll be about as circular as I can get it. 8, 9, 400, 10, 20, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... 524 by 496 is circular enough for me. So we can just start time warping around. And let this tick down. So we shouldn't get any new science here, annoyingly. But we should. Oh, we got a crew report by the mountains. Yes, please. We should get this mission complete. How are we doing for food and all that? We're about halfway down. Crew report near the desert. That's good. I'm slightly concerned about the food levels. In fact, if I start turning on... start the air filter, and I don't have any water scrubbers. Not good. We might run out of food and water again. I have to re-enter before I'd like to. If we do, then I'm just going to send this one up after the stream with a... electric charge running out. Yeah, we're going to have to re-enter a day early. Right. That's annoying. That's really annoying. We're going to have to re-enter early. So I'm going to have to rebuild this later on with a... basically another stage attached that is just a service module. Just going to go into physics warp so this can burn itself in. Engine propellant feed, very stable. Very good. We'll just deorbit ourselves into a safe deorbit burn this time. Am I going to create artificial... Now it's spinning because that's the way that the craft was going. I'm going to deorbit into a safe deorbit trajectory this time of about... say for about 40 kilometers. That should slow us down nicely as we're in. 6, 5, 4... 39,000-ish. Yeah, that'll be good. So we'll just detach that. 31 kilometers is good as well. Let's arm the parachute. And time warp down to our re-entry. We can turn off the guidance computer now. And actually do that. We want to be facing retrograde. Can I turn off? No, I can't turn off just that one RCS nozzle. That's really annoying. Because that one nozzle throws in just a bit of rotation that I don't want. Okay, we're now facing retrograde. We can turn off RCS and SAS. And we'll just start spinning for stabilization here. Coming into the atmosphere now. We should be able to return safely. Our ablator is not charring yet, which is the heat shield. Should start the re-entry burn momentarily. Still not burning. Interesting. I guess we haven't hit the Kármán line yet. That's where it really starts. And it's actually about 50 kilometers where the burn itself starts proper. This time we're entering a full 2 kilometers per second slower than we were last time, so this should be a safer burn. Okay, we are, I guess, now officially deorbited. I'm not entirely sure what went on there. I am also slightly concerned the 500 kilometer apoapsis might mean this is a skim. Like, that apoapsis is still very high. We might actually be doing an atmosphere skim here, which is dangerous. But we're still quite high up. If the periapsis goes negative, that means we are in fact about to re-enter. It's just the apoapsis is going to be stupid high over the other side of the Earth for no reason. Okay, we are re-entering. That is decreasing at an increasing rate. Our speed is increasing ever so slightly. It's going to be about probably 8 kilometers a second by the time we actually start hitting the atmosphere. But this time we're re-entering at a much safer angle. We'll be actually burning sideways as opposed to straight down. Okay, let's get physics warp going here just so we can start the actual re-entry burn. We're under the Kármán line. Apoapsis decreasing now rapidly. I'm wondering if maybe I've chosen a... Yeah, we're way fast. We are slowing down now. We are starting to... The ablator is starting to burn off. We are starting re-entry. This is actual re-entry actually happening, and I don't have any way of telling what the temperature is, which is worrying. I want to go very, very retrograde. That should be good. Later's charring quite well now. We've got no overheat warnings. Periapsis is now negative. We are hitting the ground. Apoapsis is about to catch up to where we actually are. Ablator is charring away at a good rate. Using RCS just to stabilize the entry. Our orbital speed is now at 7.2 kilometers. Actually, that's our surface speed. Orbital speed is 7.6 kilometers a second. Actual surface speed is 7.2 kilometers per second. Here's the actual re-entry effect starting to kick in. I'm going to zoom out for this because something cool is about to happen. Or should start happening in a second. We've got re-entry heating going. When is this effect going to kick in? I guess it's once we're into some actual air. We're still quite high up in the atmosphere. Still got no overheating. I'm slightly concerned about the ablator levels. We should start getting that effect any second now. So I got a mod in that, yes, gives you a proper re-entry look. With sparks and a vapor trail and all that kind of stuff. So you can see, if I zoom way out, that we are re-entering at a... This is going to be a safe re-entry. I'm going to try and use some lifting body stuff now. Maybe isn't advisable, but I want to try and... Well, let's bring me down. I'll try and lift a small bit. Yeah, it's gonna be good. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to use lifting body dynamics, which is actually in this mod. I don't know if this capsule has it, but I'm actually slowing the rate at which we're falling so that we re-enter at this level a bit faster, a bit longer. Ablator's about half gone now. Hey, Adam. I'm gonna be finishing the stream once I get this done. What on earth was pointing? Okay, we've finished the actual burning part of re-entry. We're still... Yeah, we're still causing a lot of heat. We're just gonna leave this fall retrograde now. Gonna be re-entering... Where are we? We are over... India. We're re-entering towards India. But the sun's about to set behind us. You can see the day-night terminator there. We'll just watch this Mercury capsule fall down. There's the sun, if I can get it just right. There's the sun behind us. The Mercury capsule falling into the darkness. This is going to be a safe re-entry. Jeb is going to come out of this one alive, unlike the last time. As that is quite the screenshot, actually. I need to remember what the screenshot button in KSP actually is. Or start launching it with Steam again. The sun is setting. The parachute is primed to go at 3 kilometers altitude. We're currently at 16 kilometers altitude, so we got quite a bit to fall yet. As the sun sets behind the atmosphere and turns a beautiful shade of orange. Sky above us is still black because we're still mostly in space. And there goes the sun behind some clouds and behind the Earth itself. As we fall into night. Are these lights on? The lights are on the Mercury capsule, so you can see. In fact, if I do this, you can see Jeb in there. We're about to hit the altitude at which... Yep, there's the parachute deployed. You can see it up there. Jeb is now falling straight down with the aid of the parachute. It's only in kind of a drogue configuration right now. I can turn that off. And ooh, I think he's just come through a cloud layer, in fact. You can see the beautiful just after sunset skies here in KSP. Once we get to about, I think, 500 meters or 1 kilometer, the parachute will fully deploy. There it goes. Fully deployed, now falling at leisurely 8.3 meters a second. Which is roughly what you'd be falling at if you jumped off. Quite a small platform, actually. You could land this on your legs. We're falling into the sea. There you can see the water kind of waves. And now with one extra thing in there, the Mercury capsule, which does some funky stuff. Let's get a crew report. Tells you nothing you didn't already know, because obviously you can test the water in real life. We can turn on RCS and start rolling this thing around in the sea for no good reason. But let's recover the vessel, let's recover Jeb. And we should get a bit of science for this, actually, because this is the first time I've landed something that was orbital. I've never actually recovered an orbital craft before in this save. But that is pretty much going to do it for today once we get into the Space Center. I'm not going to ask them how to post any videos. Head on over to SimStream once I'm done here. He's doing some farm sim. 21 science total. We can possibly oh, and 1200 funds from recovered parts. Fantastic. And Jeb's leveled up. Fantastic. So we can go to the... Oh. Yeah, this is a funny little bug where sometimes the Space Center spawns underwater. That's going to do it for today. First time you see this game with a big boom. Yeah, this is what happens when you actually have a vague idea of what's going on. Although the Space Center has been consumed by the sea. That's a little bug. If I go to the R&D building here, which I want to go to anyway, just to see what I can grab for 20 science. I think there's some... No, there's no science parts. Get some non-RP-0 cores, which have potential. Don't link, no. I'm going to leave it here, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I leave it with saying I've been RainbowDave, you've been watching Kerbal Space Program. Until next time, stay safe. And goodbye.